when I first started this, one of the things that really tripped me up is I was listening to the wrong people. I was following the wrong advice, and that led me to being sick and overweight in my early 20s and on a half dozen different prescription medications, for I had high blood pressure, high triglycerides, problems with my thyroid. I was gaining weight. I felt awful, kidney stones, skin problems, acid reflux, all these things I had, but I was trying as much as possible to be healthy. It wasn't until I really took a good hard look at the people who I was listening to that I realized I was following the wrong advice. And so I think there's something to be said for walking the walk. And first thing that I did, when I read a sports physiology book or a diet book or nutrition or anything like that, I flip it over and I try to see who is talking to me. Are they walking the walk? Are they actually doing this? Because having especially worked in this industry for a while, I know a lot of people aren't walking the walk. And so I always want to be that example to people of saying that you can be healthy and happy at the same time. And you can look good too. That's really the hook to help get people interested in health, because getting people interested in their health usually doesn't happen until they're really sick or something terrible happens, right? So you have to get, I want to get as many people interested in improving their bodies and their health as possible. And so, yeah, sometimes I have to take my shirt off to get people's attention.
There's nothing wrong with that.
For me, I've never been the gym rat type. I've always preferred the kind of.
Come on, Abel, you must. I'm looking at your podcast cover now. You must have been the gym rat type.
No, I don't. Gyms are stinky and stuffy and have too much kind of crazy equipment in there that in a lot of cases it's not relevant for actual people. And I didn't really have the luxury of having that mentality for a long time because I've lived in such remote places. And so something that I really enjoy is helping people work, movement, and activity in their day-to-day lives. So it's that physique that you see on the front of Fat Burning Man was actually from kettlebell workouts, and I did some deadlifts too. That was during one of my experiments when I first started playing around with fasting and feasting, intermittent fasting. And a lot of people said, the conventional wisdom around fasting is that, all your muscles are going to fall off, and you're never going to be able to build muscle and build a great physique. And in fact, I found the opposite. I was able to build muscle, reduce my body fat by making some of those little tweaks and adjustments, and without going to the gym. Basically just, it doesn't matter where you're lifting things that are heavy and building strength. If you're doing it with the right form, it can show up in fantastic ways. This way of eating and living is aimed at fat adaptation, which means you're using, instead of carbs, as most people do, they use that as their main source of fuel. They're getting most of their daily calories and energy from carbs, and especially processed carbs. In America, about more than 50% of our diet is made up of processed food, which is primarily high glycemic carbs. And so when you get away from that and you start, I call my approach the wild diet or wild lifestyle. And basically, it looks more like the plate from Indonesia, right? Where you have lots of veggies. That's the base of pretty much everything that you're eating. Instead of grains, you're having veggies. And then you might have a bit of starch, depending on your level of activity. And you might have protein as well, but you're getting most of your food energy from fat. And when you do that for several weeks, your body starts to adapt, and your metabolism completely reprograms itself to be able to burn not just fat that you're eating, but also your stored body fat for energy throughout the day.